What's the one thing that you've learned since starting Laughing Vikings that you now apply to your daily workouts, that you now apply to your daily scene analyses?
Like specifically acting related, or you mean
Yes,
just something in
specifically
life?
acting related. This is, well, we need to talk about acting at some point.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we should. You mean provide some actual value to our listeners aside
Yes.
from, no, part of it's like
They've stuck around for this long. We're giving them something.
we give people a lot, honestly. We do a lot of training. We give a lot of advice. We give a lot of inspiration, motivation. Sometimes we get emotional. Sometimes we're educational. And sometimes we're just full of BS like everyone else. And tonight it's been a lot of kazoos. But to answer your question, I don't think it has anything to do with starting Laughing Vikings. Maybe it does. I would say the overarching thing is investing in yourself. And I've heard that advice from many people, many coaches, many gurus and authors. And it is a commonality amongst high performers is that they invest more money, more time into their own skills and personal development, sort of under the theme of the job and the opportunity and the money can always come and go, but it's always you that was the source of that. So some people get into a scarcity mindset. They get a really great job, or they build a really big business, or as an actor, they land a big role. They're doing really well, or they're doing shows as a stand-up. And then they can have some scarcity where they're now afraid to lose that. But if you focus on your own skills and development, there's nothing to ever lose because it's you. So as long as you're alive, any opportunity, any role can come and go. Productions can come and go. Casting directors can come and go. But you can always turn it on, whether it's acting or show business, or whether it's having your own business or just general life skills. If your focus is on your own personal growth and development, then it's an asset that you can never lose, and no one can ever take it away from you. So I would say invest in. Like especially this last year, way more. I would say in this last year, from COVID till right now, I've probably 10x, at least 10x the amount that I've invested in personal growth and development. And that's acting classes, that's courses, that's marketing courses, that's literally anything, that's taking master classes, doing webinars, all of that. From the time I graduated university to now, it's like all of that was nothing compared to what I've done in the last year.
Yeah.
As far as investment, and it doesn't matter what field that is, and it's time, obviously. Whatever you put your time to is something it's like, whether it's a relationship or an activity, you only have so much time. Everyone's got the same amount of time, but it should also, I think it is also money, because we do attach value to money, and something that we pay for, we value more than we've been given free. So you can register for a free webinar or free training or watch a free YouTube video, but you might not show up. You might multitask while it's going on. You kind of half pay attention, or you're browsing while it's on. But if you pay for something where it was $50 or $100 or $1,000 ticket, you're for sure going to show up. You're going to pay attention more. And I think the same applies to workouts as well. Having a trainer, part of the reason is like you can get free training everywhere, or you could pay someone $100 an hour, or some people pay someone $100,000 a year to be their personal trainer, or even more. And that's just, it's not really about, I mean, it is about the value, but sometimes it's about the value you want to put into it. So like if you pay $500 a month for health and wellness training, you're going to be probably healthier than someone who doesn't, assuming you're following through at all. So I think that's a big part of it. And so the acting part is investing in myself as an actor to get all this equipment here, and having all the cameras and the screens and the mics and the lights and the internet and all that stuff to build Laughing Vikings as a studio really was an investment in myself as well, with all that hardware, because I wanted to get to the point where I can just produce my own things and not be at the mercy of gatekeepers, or not be a person who's depressed when they don't have a show or a booking for a film role, because I always have something that I can be creating on my own.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Especially, I think we talked about it a couple of weeks ago with one of the quotes of the week, where it's better to invest in yourself, and it's always good to try and think of yourself as the best instrument that you can possibly be. And the more fine-tuned that you are, and the more tuned in you are with your body, because your body is your instrument, the better off you'll be in the long run, because you're now giving yourself the time and the effort that you deserve. And that's the most beautiful thing, I believe anyway. Like, the more you try and see the positive, the more you try and focus on giving yourself the best opportunities to succeed, that's wonderful.
Right. Yeah, and it all has huge effects on self-esteem, which helps combat a lot of imposter syndrome too.
Mm-hmm.
But you get to the point, it's like, it's Tom mentions it in our acting workshops. He says, like, I'm going to forget the exact phrasing of it, but it's like, you sort of you demonstrate and prove to yourself that you're an artist by the actions you take, and by the time you take, and by what you put into it. So that helps if you've been putting all this class time in. When it comes time to an audition, or when it comes time to opening night, you're not going to be nervous and wondering, like, oh my God, can I do this or not? We all have imposter syndrome, no matter what level you get to.
Yeah.
But it'll lessen if you feel like you've invested in yourself and you're feeling good about yourself. And that's a human, like, I think one of the keys to happiness in life is just constant growth. And it doesn't matter what it is. If you're, and growth / creation. So it's like, if you're ever depressed, go learn something, or just draw, create something, write, make something for someone else, get some people together and create a moment or a song or whatever. Like, there's this weird human thing where it's like, we just, you're either growing or you're dying, really.
Yeah. And one of the things I always love about our class with Tom Todoroff is the 3 tenets of acting, which are relaxation, concentration, and imagination. So they're all connected. So the more relaxed you are, the more you're able to concentrate on the work that you're doing, and you're able to tap into your imagination to allow for the most possibility and the most choices to occur when you're working. And I always tell that to people when I'm selling the class to someone, or I'm like talking about it, because I think that's not something that was ever focused on at like theater school when I went. And I want that to be something that I've really attached myself to, that kind of mindset. And I've really found that I'm now tapping into things that I wasn't before, and I'm making more choices that I wasn't before, because I'm not scared of what the ethereal casting directors, the ethereal producers, the ethereal directors want from me. It's what I want to do with this character. Right. With what I have right now at this given moment. What do I want to show? What do I want to perform? And I love, there's a quote from Al Pacino that is, when you get an opportunity to audition, don't think of it just as you're going in to try and impress someone. You're given the opportunity to go and perform for an audience.